I need to know you're out there. I need to know you're out there. Need to know you're there somewhere. Fuck school.
Where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code.
Without knowing how to code. I hate the fucking way he said that. Without knowing how to code. Emphasis on the co. We have now gotten to the point where anybody can make any app without learning how to code. This is base 44. Doesn't fucking work. I've used base 44. It's a piece of shit. It's ass.
It's just like the famous TV stars that I want to emulate. Sorry, Jesse. That's fine. My head itches. Is there a stand-up comedian that really makes you laugh? You? I feel like you've never watched anything I've done.
I am. He's trying to move on.
In the cut and edit of you sleeping in a chair like this.
I watched some of your stuff.
No, you didn't.
I watched some of your stuff before I came here.
Like what?
I don't remember.
On the
Nick
car ride
Swanson.
over.
Nick.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was a serious conversation.
You watched it on the car ride over.
No.
You watched 2.5 minutes of it.
No.
Would you ever go to Burning Man? Have you ever been to Burning Man?
Dude, I'm so fucking horny. Jesus Christ. You know, I feel like I would thrive in jail. Because there's not a lot you can do in jail. And I feel like I get stronger with more restrictions. So if I like went to jail, I would thrive in it. You know? I really do think so. Like I would like what do you do in jail? You work out, you read books, like that's and you can't do anything bad in jail. Like you don't have any privacy, which is great. Sometimes I don't like privacy. Yo, what's up? Geo Green Metro 33. Sometimes the idea of being watched makes you more strict, you know? Whereas when you're by yourself, you know, you're going to be doing dumb stuff. You're going to be like, I don't know, you might be beating your meat. You might be drinking. You might be smoking weed. You can't do that in jail. You know what they make you do in jail? They fucking make you fix your bed. I used to work in a jail. I used to be a correctional officer. You know what we did? We walked in there and we made them fix their fucking beds. And that's all they would do. I feel like I would do a pretty good job in jail. I feel like I'd become like a fucking genius. Reading books all fucking day and doing push-ups, dude. I mean, that's the life. That's a good life right there. I don't know what the fuck people complain about jail for. We need more people like, instead of going to college, people should stay like a year in jail and see if they like it. I think that would be awesome. Alright, let's put some music on. Let's see here. I've been listening to a lot of drum and bass shit. You guys like drum and bass, atmospheric? Like, well, I got you. Oh yeah. There we go. Those Lush pads. That's some good shit. How's your guys' day going? Let me know. Channel. Got one. What about kick? Got 0. YouTube? We got one. Yeah, so I was doing some school work, and I was reminded why I don't like school. I'm just getting more certificates to add to my resume right now, and it's fucking annoying. I hate school. I hate school, bro. I hate being told what to do. I like to just do stuff on my own. When I get told to do something, I'm like, go away. Motherfucking teachers and shit telling you to do shit. It's like, why would I want to do what you're telling me to do? Why don't I just do this shit on my own? Why don't I just like read some books on my own and then learn that way? Why'd I gotta learn from some fucking dude? You know what I mean? The fuck are you gonna teach me that I can't teach myself, motherfucker? Exactly. I can go in a book right now, get some flashcards, and just write down all the words, and then just fucking smash all the information to my head, and just do that for like every single day for 12 hours a day, and I would be smarter than your professor. And they know it too, and they get mad when you tell them that. They get mad as fuck. But we live in a society. What's up, Bumba 88? What you doing, bro? How you doing, buddy? It is a beautiful Wednesday night. I'm feeling spontaneous tonight. I might go for a walk out in the wilderness. We'll see what happens. We'll see where the wind takes us. We'll see where the fucking wind takes us. Where are you guys from? Tell me what you doing. How's your night going? Take supplies in a pack. Don't end up missing 411. I'll be fine. I know how to handle myself. I just hope I don't get into I just hope I don't see a fucking eldritch monster, like a shapeshifter. You know what I'm talking about? Like the fucking witches that can shapeshift into like animals and shit. What are they called? Wendigos? I forgot what the fuck they're called. Skinwalkers? I'm from the UK. I've been in ages ago when you cooked and ruined a steak. Oh shit. Are you the guy that hates like the minorities? How you doing, bro? Are you the guy that made up all those fucking stories about like shit, or no? What the fuck? Oh, are you the anti-racist guy? I remember there's two guys from the UK in my stream at one point. One of them was like hated like refugees, and the other one was like, no, I don't like that. Dude. I look like I'm in the military and shit. I got the fucking camo pants on. I got a shaved head. I just not realized that. Fucking stolen valor over here. I keep myself... No, I don't hate anyone. I keep myself to myself. Boring. I put myself in everyone's business. I get bored as fuck by myself. What you want to be? You know what? I tried being chill today, and then I realized something. I realized it was fucking boring. I was like, I gotta find drama. Let me go get in someone's business real quick and annoy him. I think a lot of my female viewers are having their periods right now because normally they're in here in like 2 seconds, but I think they're in pain, so I guess it's just the boys tonight. You know what happens when they get their cramps? It's no fun. Get up in a skinwalker's business tonight. You know, I heard they're scared of like people who are defended by God and shit. So I'm sure if I ever got into one's face, they would try to transform into like a innocuous old lady or something to make it seem like they're not a fucking demon wench. But I would see right through it. Yo, what's up, Tiny Tim? Or should I say user KW5KJ7FW7E? What up, bro? You hate your username? Well, then change it. Maybe in real life, IRL stream, it go on a walk. I will do that. Dudes, I'm not gonna lie to you. Something's wrong with me. I have a thing called I can't control myself. And when I get especially bored, I get a little bit excessive. Called ADHS. I mean ADHD. Yeah, probably. I think it's just called being a man with testosterone. And they just like labeled it ADHD. I think it's called being a man with fire in his heart. And they're like, what do you mean you don't want to sit down for 8 hours a day and do nothing? What do you mean you want to go outside and then go on an adventure? What are you talking about? That's not productive. ADHD gets some, maybe, yeah. I feel like as men, we can do whatever we want. Like, and we can accomplish whatever we want. But, I feel like the rest of we're like against the world, you know? It feels like a lot of the time, most of the world does not fuck with our free-spiritedness. Because, like, think about it. Like, when you go to school, school's boring and gay. Like, but it's supposed to give you a higher paying job. But then when you get that job, you realize that job is boring and gay. And then you realize when you do like independent stuff and you read books by yourself and do independent research and you do your own shit, you realize that's not boring and gay. That's actually fun. And then when somebody tells you to do something, you're like, I don't want to do that. But then when you tell yourself to do something, you're like, I should do that. So what I'm saying is, like, everything around you is like trying to like get you to like bow down, you know, like what kind of world do we live in? We live with and all the people who are like weak hate us, like, as men. Like, gay people don't like us, women don't like us, institutions, people with low testosterone don't like us, guys with no muscle mass don't like us, a lot of people who are immoral don't like us. But like, you just gotta shit on them. Be like, fuck you, I do what I want, and you're just gonna deal with it. The thing is, some of us built different. Like myself, I love outdoor survival stuff. Is like some of us are made for life in a different time. In the apocalypse, we would thrive. You know, I think what it is, it's leftover instincts from because like men were bred to be like for like warfare. You know, like we were always meant to like go out there and like explore or like fight. And since we live in a mostly conquered world now, where everything is just like institutions everywhere built upon, we got nowhere else to explore. And so all of this energy is just sort of like latent within us. And we always kind of want to put our flag down somewhere and show our balls to the world. But there isn't a lot of places we can do that in current society, you know? So we just have to make up our own little mythos in these little, bureaucratic, institutionalized times. Because, again, you go to school, it's boring as fuck. Your parents are lame as shit. And the women, I just feel like, I don't know, it is what it is. You know? Everybody that I've ever encountered wasn't fucking with my energy because it was the seed of life. I have the seed of life within me as a man because I do what I want and I can accomplish whatever I want to. Like, and I don't even have to try that hard. But if I did try that hard, I would wipe the fucking floor with most people. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. As men, that's what we do. You know? Bureaucratic hellholes. School is boring. Yeah, I know, bro. I know it is. We get told what to do, and we don't want to do it. So, I mean, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of avoiding a lot of shit that I don't like, especially at jobs and workplaces. Like, I'm so proud of myself when I when I find a way of scheming and gaming the system, because I do that a lot. Whenever I get told what to do, I do the opposite, and then it works out for me. You know, I feel like, and a lot of guys, they kind of they relinquish their power when they like simp for things, or they accept things for what they are. I feel like you shouldn't accept anything for what it is. I feel like you should always be thrusting yourself into the fold, you know, and burning shit down to the ground, because that's what life's about, you know. And that kind of that mania, that hyperness is like motion. Movement is life. Okay, when you move, you're living. Living things move, and if you're always like stationary, not doing anything, your brain isn't moving all over the place, your body's not moving all over the place, you're not being athletic, or you're not training your body, or you're not reading stuff that's stimulating to you, that's like death. I look at boring people and they're boring. Like, they have no interesting thoughts in their heads. They have no original thoughts in their heads at all. When you talk to them, it's the most stale, boring fucking conversation you ever have with a person, because they're like robots. You know, they're like functionaries. They're able to do a task and that's it. But they don't have creativity. They don't have a broad mind. They have a narrow view on what to do. They're like toasters, or a refrigerator. But men are like mythic. You know, we're like half man, half what is the word? We're like we're mortal men, but at the same time we're supernatural men, because if we put our will to something, we can change whatever we want, however we want to. And that power is like what people resent us for, and they envy us for that, because they don't have that. They're just constantly like slaves, and we're like the masters of this world, you know. Not all people can do with that, and don't understand good morals, etc. If I was there, I would not have a problem going on a wilderness survival camp with you. I'm sure there will be people there who are on a similar wavelength with good morals. Yeah. And I think the reason we were born men is because we are aligned with like God. People who are like rebellious and like try to like flip the script or be like what's the word I'm looking for? Perverse, or just taking what's like orderly and making it disorder. Doing that, if that's in your nature, it's because you're on a beaten path, and that's probably why you're lower on the hierarchy, you know? I do think there's a hierarchical structure to life. I think men are like the bridge between divine, between like the divine inspiration and the material world. Like, if women didn't have men, they would be like cut off from a lot of that airy inspiration, because they say that the first man, Adam, he was dust, and he was made into clay, and he was just he was a golem. He was just a shell, and then God breathed air into his nostrils and gave him a soul, and he wasn't souled at that point. So that airiness, that imagination, that creativity comes from the source. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that free spirit. They don't have that free will. They're like chained down. And the reason why they don't like men is because they don't have that. They don't have that connection to what is holy and good. But we do. So that's why they fucking hate us. If you were born a man, if you were born a guy, and you know good from evil, and you stay the right path, and you fight for what's right, then you are constantly favored by God. Most of the geniuses throughout history, like Isaac Newton or Leonardo da Vinci, or any guy of note from the past that made really large sweeps in our knowledge and our art and culture, came from men who were inspired by God, and that's just the way it is. A lot of secular men are intelligent, but they lack the creativity that men before them had. And since they lack that aspect, and they choose to be more empirical instead of spiritual, and having that flame, they'll never reach the heights of their forebears. A lot of people are just like NPCs, robots. What they don't understand is that man like us have good morals. We would never let a person go hungry or be bullied, and our word is our bond. We have honor and respect, and that bothers a lot of people. Yeah. There's the fact that we have a conscience. The fact that our conscience isn't taught to us. It's born in us. That bothers people, you know. People act like they're flesh automatons that don't have a spirit or soul or a free will. And when you start thinking like that, that's when you start being chained to the world and you become a slave to it. The reason why I feel like I have so much going for myself and I have a lot of luck, and that my life is a little bit on the easier side of things, is because my heart is ultimately in the right place. So even when I go through like something like a rough patch, I end up still coming out on top because I have a devotion to that light. You know what I mean? Because whenever I had my doubts on things, and I've tried doing like the hedonistic stuff that people get into, I've always felt wrong about it. Like the hedonistic things, like the drug usage, gambling, sex, drugs, all that stuff that's just like for your body to like destroy itself. When you do those things, you feel hollow afterward. You feel like the light has shifted in you after doing those things. And you realize that it's not an emotional response. It's not even like a guilt response. Well, maybe it is a guilt response, but it's like a soul response. It's the light, that soul in you that's telling you it's wrong. So, we're not perfect. Yeah, no, we're not perfect for sure. I mean, you're made out of clay, and your clay has appetites, but you have to feel shame. You have to be able to feel guilt towards the things that are repulsive to you, that are morally incorrect. So because there are people who go upwards and there are people who go downwards. Okay, people naturally who are masculine try to move upwards towards the firmament where all the angels are, and some people try to move downwards towards earth and be weighed down by a lot of material trivialities, So the more think about it. Like, think about how guys don't really care naturally about materialism. Like, if you notice, a lot of guys, when they move into their first place or an apartment, they live very frugally. Like, they have like a mattress on the floor, and it takes them months before they actually start to like renovate shit or like add shit to their place. That's very common because guys don't really care that much about material things. They care about like principles and ideas and stuff like that. Hold that thought. All right. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. I had this dream too a couple nights ago. I think it was like a few days ago actually. It was a weird dream. I kind of psychoanalyzed it like Carl Jung with the dreams. Basically, in the dream, I was with this girl. She had tattoos and shit. She was this girl who I was attracted to for a while. She got into like heavy drugs. She got like into fentanyl and I don't know what the fuck else. She got like cocaine, all sorts of shit. She went from being cute to damaged very fast, and she wasn't cute anymore. But in my dream, she was cute again. She had weight to her again, and she had a nice face. And in the dream, we were in a car, and she was in the driver's seat, and I was in the passenger seat. Okay, and in the car, what she did, she offered me this little this little nub of a joint, and she's like, "Do you want to smoke this?" And I said, and I thought to myself, uncharacteristically, I was like, "Sure," because I assume that we might have a good time together and smoke. And then I do it, and I smoke a little bit of it, and then obviously in the dream I get high. And then from beyond the car, we're sitting in a parking lot in the car, there is a voice in the back from these lines of cars, and it's like a disembodied voice. I try to look back, and I realize it's like a cop or something. And the cop is like, "Hey, what are you guys doing over there?" And we're like, "Oh, nothing." And the disembodied cop voice is like, "Well, I know you guys are probably smoking over there." And the girl is like, "Oh, if you want to test us, you can get a breathalyzer." And I'm like looking at her, I'm like, "What the fuck?" And obviously I'm high. I'm gonna like not pass it. We're gonna get fucking in trouble. But cop guy comes over and he asks me to step out of the vehicle, right? So I step out of the vehicle, and he starts to. I start to follow his orders, and he's like, "Okay, so get on the ground and take this breathalyzer." So I lay on the ground, but the cop is like weird. He's very perverted, and he's using the breathalyzer like it's a phallus. He's with his fucking groin in my fucking face. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And so I get back in the car, and the girl's like, that was really gay. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck was that? And I look back, the cop's walking back, and I realized that the cop was not in a cop uniform anymore. He was in a devil uniform with the fucking horns and shit. And he's just like walking back to the cars. And then I woke up. So I felt like that was a very symbolic and significant dream, and this is what I took from it. By letting the girl that I liked was in the driver's seat and I was in the passenger seat, right? So by letting this woman be in the driver's seat, she was basically the one to kind of lead me instead of me leading her. So by letting her take control and offering me drugs, I fell under the spell of what she was doing instead of me being in the driver's seat and me making the decisions. I was the follower and she was the leader. And by doing that, I like fell. It's like the story of Genesis, basically, is what I got from it. Like when Adam allowed Eve to trick him into eating the apple, he fell. And because the devil was not able to trick Adam by himself, it was through the woman that happened. So I got that dream from it, and I'm like, if I let women sort of make the choices instead of me being in the driver's seat, then I fall, because then the devil is able to come in and have his way with me, which is what the breathalyzer symbolized. So it was a pretty interesting dream. I have a lot of symbolic dreams like that, and that's like my interpretation of it. But yeah, that's I feel like these dreams are very significant, and I feel like as men we have to kind of get our balls back, because you see a lot of guys online. The internet is really bad for men because it lowers our value, because when girls see a bunch of guys in their DMs and shit messaging them all the time, it lowers our value, and they start to like try to find guys of like more interesting, higher value. That's what the whole flation shit is because guys give them too much attention online. But you got to get off it. You got to get back in real life and start talking to girls in real life. But always be the leader, never the follower, and always be the only thing in your life to make the choices, because ultimately you take your orders from a higher place. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. It doesn't matter what the fuck else the world is doing. It's what matters is what you're doing. The man in the mirror is the only man you got in your entire life. Everything else goes away. Even your wife, that doesn't last forever either. Once you're either you guys are going to divorce while you're alive, or you guys are going to die and your souls will be apart. So I don't know, man. That's what I get from it. So one joint too many. I don't actually smoke, which is why it was uncharacteristic. But it was like a cautionary dream, I feel like. It was a very cautionary dream. You get a lot of symbolic dreams, though. It's very interesting what the subconscious can conjure up that makes sense to you. I need to go hit legs. You thought about maybe working towards buying some land and build your own homestead or cabin on it? I have thought about that, actually. Who hasn't? Everyone has, bro. And you know what the fucked up that are trying to eliminate money? Think about the implications of that. Like, I saw this interview with Elon Musk saying shit like, oh, we're going to get rid of money. You won't need money anymore. This guy has $800 billion, and he's talking about getting rid of money. First of all, if we got rid of money, how do you expect people to buy land? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, once you get rid of the money, how are people going to be able to work and be able to obtain value? The world is going to get a damn sight worse. Yeah, I know it is. We gotta fucking stop it, dude. You're fucking saying they're trying to, like, the next step. By the way, I know what's going to happen next. In the 2030s, that entire decade, they're going to go hard as fuck with robots and AI. They're going to go super hard. They're going to try to implement more robots into our society to do more of the jobs with AI. Because Elon Musk is already kind of rolling out his, like, little Tesla bots, or whatever the fuck they're called. And once that happens, dude, it's going to be very interesting. I'll tell you that much. They don't want people to buy land. It's going to be fucked. Because that's how like, land is, like, one of the most major assets you have to actually having like wealth. Because, like, your money, when it sits in the bank, it just decreases over time with, like, inflation. They'll just, like, raise prices whenever the fuck they want for, like, more tax. It's like, dude, your money's, like, not worth shit. Like, it's the material stuff that you own, like land, that's gonna make or break you and then your lineage. Just checking here. You did not get that shot a few years back. So many sheep fell for that. Oh, you're asking if I got the... I was, like, trying to see what the fuck you meant by that. If I got... You mean the vaccine shot? No, I didn't get the vaccine. The reason why I didn't get it was because I didn't want to... Well, the main reason why I didn't want to get it is because I felt like they rushed it. And I'm like, why? I didn't want to take something that I felt like they just, like, fucking made. And I also felt like in my immune system, I was a young guy, and most of the people who were dying from it were old as fuck. So I'm like, I'll probably be fine. So I didn't fucking take it. I wanted to participate very little in what was happening in society at that point. I cared so little about what was happening in the world at that point. I drove cross country from my home state to California with my friend during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, because I was bored. So that's what I did. I was like, hey, bro, you wanna go drive with me to the fucking California out of boredom? He's like, sure. And my dad got pissed at me. He was like, only you would fucking want to drive to fucking California during a fucking pandemic. And I was like, yeah, I do. Bye, Dad. We just fucking drove down there. It was sick. Dude, honestly, the pandemic days were fun for me. I enjoyed it. I liked that shit. It was fun as fuck. Everyone was, like, in their houses and shit. The streets were all vacant. I was just driving down the fucking highways all the time, the interstate with my bro. Like, good memories, man. I have some good memories from the pandemic. That shit was fun. That was fun for me. It was just funny. That AI stuff needs to die out. I'm getting AI ads now. Dude, that's not... They're going to keep putting the fucking pedal to the metal on that. Sorry to say. They can still do eminent domain and take your land anyway. Yeah, they can. If you don't pay your taxes, they're like, we're taking this now. Goodbye. Isn't that so fucked? They can just take your fucking land away whenever they want to. Look up online how many kids at UK schools have died at school from random heart attacks and like, and still happening. UK kids dying from heart attacks. Oh, you know what? I did hear about some like heart attack shit going on. It was like what do they call it? Dude, that was so fuck. I remember in 2022 or 2023, I forgot the condition they called it. They called it, what did they call it? It was something stupid. NSAIDs or something? What the fuck do they call it? No, not NSAIDs. It was something else. What the fuck do they call it? Late stage something. Late sudden death syndrome or something. It was something crazy. I forgot what the fuck they called it. Like SID, sudden infant death syndrome. They called it sudden adult death syndrome or something. That was fucking crazy. Yo, what's up, Saturn? You know what they call it when you suffocate your baby? Baby suffocation? I don't know. SADS. Yeah, I know SADS. SIDS and SADS, sudden infant deaths. Murder, IDS, infant death syndrome. Bro, that shit was fucking nuts. I read that shit, like sudden adult death syndrome. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, what the fuck is that? I've never heard of that in my entire life. They're like, we got normal adults dying from heart attacks. I'm like, what? That shit was nuts. That was like after the pandemic too, so that was already raising fucking people, like fucking making them paranoid as shit. They're like, excuse me? But an adult is stupid? Yeah, no shit. Sudden adult death syndrome. Yeah, didn't LeBron James' son have that? Hold on, LeBron James' son had a heart attack. I remember that too. LeBron James' son, Bronny James, suffered a cardiac arrest during a USC basketball practice in July 2023. They're saying it was a congenital heart defect. Damn. Oh, really? Kid tried using the same roids his dad did and it about killed him. Well, don't do steroids, bro. Stay natty. Yeah, stay fucking natty, bro. Speaking of that, you guys heard of this dude named Clavicular that is infertile at 19 because he's taking steroids and fucking other shit? If you think LeBron is all natural, you crazy. I don't fucking... He takes HGH. That's why his hairline's fucked up. His shit went all the way up to here because he was taking HGH and shit. Him and the Greek freak and roided to hell. Balco. Who the fuck is that? Greek freak? I mean, okay, well. Oh, Giannis? This guy? They call him the Greek freak? I didn't know that. Yeah, they'd give them HGH. I used to... there was this girl I was talking to before. She was Jewish. and she was like estranged from her family. But she said she went to this very high end, rich kid school with like a bunch of basketball player kids. She said that the parents would actually dope their children and give them HGH to make them grow taller. She said in one semester they would be kids. Next semester they'd be grown ass men from their fucking parents injecting them with HGH. Is that fucking nuts? Their fucking skulls grow and shit. HGH does not help grow bones. Yeah, it does. HGH definitely helps you grow bones. Why don't you think HGH helps grow bones? It fucking makes your skull grow, bro. If you take HGH before your growth plates close, it fucking makes you grow taller. That's like it gets released by the pituitary gland to make you grow taller. Why don't you think that's real? It's literally called human growth hormone. It has growth hormone in the name. What are you talking about? All right, let's test that. Let's test that real quick. Let's ask the Google if does HGH help make your bones grow? Yes. The answer is yes. Yes, but not the type being injected. It's the same hormone. I mean, it's not going to work if you're already adult and your growth plates are closed. I mean, your bones aren't going to be like lengthening when you're already a full-grown adult, obviously. But if you take it when you're an adolescent, when you're still like growing, it will definitely help you grow taller for sure. 100%. Human growth hormone stimulates cartilage and bone cells to multiply, leading to increased bone formation and density, especially during childhood and adolescence, and also maintain bone health in adults by promoting bone remodeling. Does it also cause bone growth? It's not going to cause bone growth in a full-grown adults, obviously, because your growth plates are closed. It's not going to make you grow any taller. But it does aid in like bone and mineral density. So it will make it thicker. It'll make your bones thicker as an adult, but it won't make you grow taller. That's why, bro. Come on now. That's why when people take HGH as adults, when they're already fully grown, their growth plates are closed, their skull like fucking widens because it promotes density. Why don't they develop knob knees? It's probably not that fucking extreme. It's probably not as extreme when you're an adult. I'm just saying. If you go on fucking like some of these muscle building forums, they even say like with HGH, it does make you stronger, and it does like aid with like a bunch of like your metabolism and stuff. But the most that you get out of HGH is when you're like still growing, like as an adolescent. That's why they always advocate for like anabolic steroids outside of HGH because that will actually like fucking make you fucking ginormous, as opposed to just regular HGH. Yeah, I know. You're talking about the pituitary gland. But most of those people do most of their growing during adolescence when they have that shit. But that's caused by HGH being unregulated because of the tumor. People who use HGH don't get that. I already told you because they're already grown, bro. This is not a debate, bro. Anyways, that completely threw off the topic what I was talking about before. The fuck were we talking? What were we talking about? Infant deaths? Talking about the fucking pandemic that happened 6 years ago. Remember what happened 6 years ago? Over half a decade now. Damn. Good times. So much has happened since then. Now that the virus is over, we got the new virus, which is artificial intelligence making the populace a bunch of fucking schizos because they can't trust anything they see online anymore. One Punch Man. You calling me One Punch Man? What happened with LeBron James' son? Motherfucker, where were you 6 minutes ago? He had cardiac arrest because of some reason. No, you're not bald enough. Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually do. Oh, shit. I can't believe it's been 6 years into this decade already. It has not been fun once. It's only been stupid and interesting, but mostly retarded. You only did 50 push-ups and 50 sit-ups instead of 100, 110. I used to do like 200, 300 push-ups a day. I stopped though because I felt like I could probably restart doing that actually. But like I work in the mornings from like fucking 5 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. 2:30 p.m. And then after I'm tired as fuck because I don't get enough sleep. Are those pants for pants or camping? They're for pants. I look like I'm in the military and shit. I just bought these because they look fucking cool. Got from Old Navy. They're just fucking pants, bro. I rarely wear pants, to be honest. I mostly wear like sweatpants because they're comfortable. Why do your normal pants need a camo? I don't fucking know. Why not? Why the fuck not? Where are my bitches at? Fuck. I had high hopes for you. What were the high hopes, bro? Why you don't even know me? You're already having high hopes? That's not good. You need to keep those hopes mid-range. That you liked camping and working out in the peace of the woods. I do like that, actually. I have camped before and worked out in the woods. So those are two of my favorite things to do. I feel like girls are so overrated sometimes. Like, I would rather just kind of go out into the middle of nowhere and test my will and strength than to, like, you know, be annoyed by a chick yapping in my ear all the fucking time. You know? No tats, got some strings, perfect way to test yourself. Go in the woods, work out, play some strings. I might do that on the next stream, actually. It's my weekend now, so I might do that. I might go do that. Fuck it. I might make it a YouTube video. Yeah, I don't do the tattoos. I think tattoos are so overrated now. Everyone has tattoos. Even the weak people have tattoos. You know what I mean? Tattoos used to like mean something. Like when you went to the fucking Navy or something, you got a tattoo. Like it actually meant something. Like they used to symbolize something. But now it's like a fucking if a 80-pound fucking dyke can get a tattoo, Like, how tough is it, you know? Not really. You know? If like a little 80-pound little girl can stick and poke her shit a bunch of times over her legs and arms, I feel like tattoos are lame now. Those are my high hopes for you. Well, luckily for you, we might do that on the next stream, buddy. Just for you, Saturn, we can do that, buddy. I'll do another 300 push-up challenge for myself and play some classical guitar in the woods. Granted, I known some crazy ass dykes, but none I would want to trust my life to protect me. Of course not. You wouldn't want any fucking. No, I wouldn't trust that ever. Same things with like gay guys. Like you would never trust a gay dude to watch your back. Like they're gonna be looking at your ass the whole time. They're not gonna be protecting you from shit. Like if you're in the middle of like a war zone, like all like the weak-willed people gotta go. You know, they gotta be put somewhere else. If the gay guy loved the person he was protecting, yes, maybe, but not everyone. Yeah, exactly. I knew this guy, this coworker. He said he was like gay and shit. And I was like, "When did you learn that you were gay?" And he was like, "I learned that I was gay from the moment I was born." Or like, what did he say? He said when he gained consciousness is when he knew he was gay. And I thought that was kind of suspect, you know, because normally you don't like get into like what you're interested in until you hit puberty. So if you were gay, if you knew you liked guys by the time you gained consciousness, I feel like you gotta start interviewing the uncles. You know what I'm saying? He might have been fucked with as a baby, but I mean that's where my mind went. I'm like, you knew you liked guys that early? I don't think so, bro. I think you got infected. Because that happens too, unfortunately. Granted, kids in school, I knew Teddy was gay in kindergarten. Took him until 11th grade to admit it, but I always knew. Well, everyone always knows. It's how they act. They got the feminine brain. They got the feminine, like, spirit or whatever. You gotta be careful with that shit. And they do try. It is like a zombie virus. I had one of my viewers was a gay guy, right? He hates when I tell this story, but he tried to make me. He tried to go on my Discord and he tried to invite me to this gay guy's fucking Discord. He was like a gay porn star, and his excuse for wanting me to join that shit was like, "No, I just want you to see the work I do in there. It's like a Discord mod." I'm like, I'm not joining some fucking butt munchers fucking Discord, bro. Like, what are you trying to do here? You're trying to like fucking coax me into the fucking gay shit? Like, what are you trying to do? You know what? Like, I feel like that's what they do. They try to like get you into their ranks. Like the LGBT community is like a big ass fucking amoeba that tries to like take people in, and like they like, you know how like kids who are like in their like teenagers, they're all insecure and they're trying to find like a herd to like be a part of something bigger than themselves. Well, when I see these kids get influenced by like these fucking YouTubers and shit to like join the fucking, you know, gay club, it's like they're not actually homosexuals. They just want to feel included in something, you know. And unfortunately, when they get into like the gay shit, it starts to like seep into them, and the mask that they were wearing before to just feel like they can fit in somewhere becomes their actual identity over time, and they get confused like what they actually are as adults because of that shit. Girls, I can't admit I knew any girl was gay, just the guys. I feel like a lot of chicks are actually bisexual by nature. A lot of them are. they like to have fun with other girls. And what I think the reason for that is because women were concubines for like thousands of years. So they kind of grew accustomed to being around other women and having sex with other women, having group sex and all that. I don't want to go red versus blue. How did I miss this? But what you're describing is how blues get pulled in. We are way too much alike to argue or talk about this. I'm just saying, bro. Like, that reminds me of another topic about women. You know how, like, girls, like, have, like, weird, like, kinks and shit, like, fetishes? Like, they like to be, like, tied up. They like BDSM. They like to be spit on, slapped around a little bit. I think the reason for that is because of the ancestral blood memories that they have in their DNA, in their, like, their genome. Because, for, like, again, hundreds of thousands of years, women were taken captive by barbarians and shit. And, you know, a Freudian theory is that when you can't avoid pain, you derive pleasure from pain. So that's where Stockholm syndrome comes from. That's where a lot of these weird mental infirmities come from, and masochism comes from, is that you can't avoid pain. So if you're a captive and you're about to get, you know, raped or beaten up or tied up, you're eventually going to derive some pleasure from it. And I think that's why some women over time, and even today, it's like a leftover thing from evolution to derive pleasure from that instinct to derive pleasure from pain, because they were captives for a while. They would get tied up, they would get used and abused, and they had to deal with that. That's why they derive pleasure from it today. Not DNA. If you ask me why women like that stuff, is they were trained by men, they like doing it to them, so they want to offer that to the next man. No, because I feel like some women, when they develop their sexualities, they already have that in them. I really do. I think it's just like part of their nature is to be a little bit masochistic in a way. I think it is part of DNA. I think it is. Because some things, you just have those blood memories in you to develop over time. Are men trained during sex or women? I think it just comes naturally for both sexes, bro. I think the training stuff, unless you were fucked with, I don't think it's trained. I think it's already ingrained in you how to have sex with your hormones and shit. You think men train women during sex? How do you get trained to have sex? Fucking take the dick. Like, what do you do? Like, I don't think so, bro. Like, they got a slit. They know how to fuck it. They know what goes inside of it. Like, you don't need to get trained to know how to fuck. Like, you just, like, maybe you'll have certain tastes if you've been with a lot of partners, yeah. But I feel like the BDSM stuff and all that, it also might be influenced by porn, because a lot of people are fucking porn brain now because of the fucking internet. But you know, there's a lot of theories out there. Is how it starts. This is why you don't want tons of partners. No, of course not. You fucking if a woman has too many partners, she'll become too picky. You know? If a girl has too many sexual partners, she's eventually going to be like, well, I've had tacos and I've had hamburgers. It's like food. Like, after you've had so many types of food, like, you want to have, like, each one every so often. If you only have had one food item and you only know of one food item that exists, you're going to continue to eat that food item. It's like with one partner or one man. But if you've been with a lot of men, you know, you're going to be all over the place. That's the problem with having too many options. Back in the day, you just married the fucking girl next door in your fucking little town that you had. But now the dating pool has expanded to the entire fucking world. You can go on Tinder and fucking put your location saying to fucking Sweden or Poland and talk to the fucking people out there and shit. Like, it's completely changed now, and you got too many options. You got too many sexual people out there that want a piece, and it's not like, oh, I'll just take what I can get and settle. No, now everyone wants to fuck around. Why do men like virgins? Because we like purity. Women and men are the inverses of each other. Women like men who have experience, and men like women who don't have any experience. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. I do think that men like to train women to sort of, be how they want them to be in a way. I know that sounds kind of fucked up, but it's nice to have someone that looks up to you. Having a girl that looks up to you and respects you is a good thing. And I feel like a lot of chicks, when they don't respect their dude, it's just like a fucking horror show. It's fucking get that shit out of here. Not weird to want trained how you like it. Well, I mean, how we're discussing it, it might come off like we're like slave masters or some shit, But I don't know. If we really want to get critical with this conversation, there's no girls in here anyways. If you really want to get critical with this conversation, critical thinking, there is a hierarchy to sexuality. There's a hierarchy to how we live. And I do think men are like the natural leaders of the world. We are the masters, right? And we kind of train the women, and the women train the children, and that's the hierarchy. The only one that's above men is God, basically. That's what I was talking about before. Has nothing to do with slaves or sex. I don't know, man. If you ever read Friedrich Nietzsche, Master Morality and Slave Morality, people when they have their morals, like when we as men base our morals on something, it's off our own premise. When people of a weaker nature start to construct their morals, it's based on resentment. It's they're basing their morals off the diametric opposite to themselves of what their masters believe in, usually. So sometimes I feel like with girls, when they get rebellious against men and they have like some Freudian penis envy, they start to become more lesbianish. They start to resent God. They start to resent men. They start to resent masculinity in general. The reason why women have a paradoxical relationship with masculinity is for two reasons. The reason why they don't like masculinity is because if they look at history, men have like enslaved women and oppressed women for centuries. But at the same time, masculinity has also allowed them to feel safe and protected. And when they get with a strong, powerful, masculine man, their life becomes easier, and it's a lot. They have better life outcomes when they get with a guy that has high value. So that's why they have like this really paradoxical, mixed attitude towards masculinity and guys. The more like adolescent and immature a girl is, the more resentful she is. But the older she gets, if she like sheds that, she becomes more obsequious, and she understands her role in society and the world. And women want to grab more power. Well, the reason why everyone wants power, but women can't take power with sheer force because they're not strong enough. They usually have to where women get the most power from is their sexualities. And that's why they're able to take men for a ride and treat them like fools, is because when a guy can't control his sexuality, he becomes a fucking moron and becomes a simp, and he throws money at her or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But the reason why women find guys that they can't control sexually attractive is because they don't have any power over them, and they find that alluring. So, yeah. I was reading this fucking book by H.G. Wells, but it's called The Outline of History. And I got to the part with Alexander the Great. And this fits with what we're talking about, because Alexander the Great was kind of manipulated by his mom, Olympias. Because Olympias, the wife, hated Alexander the Great's father. I forget, it's King Philip. She fucking hated him. She resented his power. She was jealous of his conquests. So what she did was, while he was away, she would put like these little ideas in fucking young Alexander the Great's head to make him resent his father. And eventually, she plots an assassination against King Philip, which after that happens, he dies. And then Alexander the Great's able to take the throne. And when he took the throne, Olympias was able to get a good office in Macedonia because she manipulated her son to always kind of favor her over the dad. So women do kind of play a lot of mind games with men to gain more power. Once a woman gets inside your head, it's cooked, bro. Like, they're able to manipulate you, and you can't have them have that. You gotta stay steadfast. Let bears invade the caves again. They will need men to be in control again. Well, don't let these girls play you for a fool. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't let them have your balls. Don't never do that ever. Ever. Oh, look at this guy. I'm a dirty, filthy pig bottom with a gaping hole to boot you in. I think I'm going to pass on that, bro, but thank you. Dude, she killed his dad and sent him off on a conquest, and she was left to rule Greece. Yeah, because she was a fucking... she was insane, dude. You know what? She was a part of the fucking... well, she was a part of that Dionysian cult. You know, like the satanic cults that we have, like back in the day when like people would go out in the woods naked and shit and like fucking do all these weird dances and get like drunk. It's the same shit they were doing back in ancient Greece, but it was like the Dionysian cult where it was like a fucking they would drink wine because Dionysus was the god of drunkenness and fertility, and so that's what she was a part of, and she was fucking insane. So that's what, like, I feel like that's a good blueprint and a story for how we should organize our own lives in today's world, because we can't let girls manipulate men or control them through mind games or through our sexualities, because if we do that, we're basically sacrificing our power and we're letting our power go. We always have to remind ourselves that women come and go. Everything in life comes and goes. Money comes and goes. But the only thing you're going to have constant in your life is yourself. So always have self-respect. If a chick gets on your fucking nerves, you gotta toss her ass. Throw her to the curb and get another one. You know what I mean? Women, they become a problem, you get another one. Money, you get broke, you make more money. You know what I mean? That's how it is. Friends, you get more friends. But the only one constant is the man in the mirror, bro. It's you and God, and that's it. Can't let anyone manipulate you. That's right. That's right, Tiny Tim. You marry a woman, you're basically telling the family, yes, I know this girl will go insane when she stops dropping eggs. Menopause. Well, I mean, they're pretty consistently nutty for a while. I mean, but you can't really. Sometimes I do sympathize with girls though, because you can't really blame them for being kind of, like that, because they have like. I read somewhere that like period pain when they're like menstruating is on par with like a mini heart attack or some shit. Like, imagine having like a mini heart attack like once a month, like that. Of course you would go fucking crazy. Of course you'd be hysterical. Like, bro, wouldn't you if you fucking your nuts were fucking contorting and shit once a month? Like, you would go insane too. Motherfucker, I don't know what the fuck I would do if my nuts were fucking twisting every month. I'd be like out there and fucking drinking my fucking liver out probably and acting like a nutball or some shit. I was talking to this coworker too, like a month ago, about her period pain, and we were like, we were talking about like religion and shit, and I was like, do you feel like periods and like menstrual cycles and the fact that women have a lot of bodily pain because of that is kind of proof that the Bible is factual in a way? Because I say that after we fell from the Garden of Eden and paradise, that women had to suffer through childbirth and shit, Because every other bodily function doesn't really hurt that much, or is not supposed to hurt. Like taking a piss or taking a shit, I mean, unless you got a big ass turd coming out, it's going to feel fine, Like everything else that your body doesn't really cause you a lot of pain naturally. But women, for some reason, when they're fucking getting ready to fucking release an egg, they gotta fucking go through a bunch of weird hormonal shit and then fucking have their uterine lining shed. Like, bro, I don't know. That's proof of God to me. Like, they definitely did something along the line. And also another thing, too, is the fact that the sun and the moon occupy the same surface area in the sky to create a perfect solar eclipse. And they think that's, like, fucking just a coincidence. Like, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. Just that's why you used to give 4 years of wealth to the family in case you ship her back. Like, I don't want this chick no more. I'm not even talking about the monthly thing. I'm talking about when those egg makers die and rot out of the body. You do know for most of human life the moon was larger than the sun. Really? Is that true? Let's take a look here. Well, I heard that it was mostly the same size, but it's been slowly, very slowly, like getting further and further from the Earth. But let me look that up. Let me see how big the moon was in ancient times. The moon's actually, we're both kind of right. The moon's actual size diameter hasn't changed much, like I said, but its apparent size in the sky has shrunk over time because it's slowly moving way further from Earth. Yeah, it's like I said. Appearing much larger than just spent, maybe even 2 to 3 times larger in ancient prehistoric skies compared to today, though much closer to current size in the historical era like ancient Greece. So yeah, back in ancient Greece they had like the same size moon. While ancient civilizations couldn't measure its true diameter well, their observations showed they perceived it as large, with early Greeks using geometry to estimate the distance. Okay. That's a cool ass picture. Do you guys think astrology has any basis in reality? I was talking to this girl one time because there were some dudes in college who were even entertaining the idea. They're like, well, the moon, like what do they say? Like the lunar cycles affect women's periods and shit. Like they're tied to women's like menstrual cycles or something, and that the moon also affects our moods because of the force that it exerts on us, like through our blood and shit. Like it affects the waves and the tides, but also affects like the water inside our bodies to make us a little bit loopy. That's why they say the full moon makes us go crazy. And that these guys, their argument was, well, if the moon is affecting our moods, isn't that astrology? That's what their argument was. No God needed. What's your religion, Saturn? I'm just curious. Do you believe in anything? Or are you an empiricist? You respect all religions? I didn't ask what you respect. I asked what you believe in, buddy. I didn't ask what you respect. It's like you can respect anything. I'm just asking what you believe in personally. I do not believe anything anyone has come up with besides myself. Okay, well, what have you come up with that you believe in? I remember this one girl who had like a BPD. She had like this epiphany with astrology. She was like, what the fuck did she say? She thought that astrology was so unique because all like depending on your point of view, all things can be true. Like saying that free will can be true, but also predeterminism can be true at the same time, depending on how you look at it. Like some fucking weird quantum mechanical thing where you can choose your destiny but it's also pre-written or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I think she was just having a little psychosis episode, but because of the BPD. My thoughts is all I call it. I do not want to disrespect anyone. You can believe whatever, and we can have a decent convo. Fuck it, bro. Like, we only got 9 viewers in here. You're not disrespecting anybody. We only got 9 people fucking watching. You're not gonna disrespect nobody. Fucking speak your mind. Spit your shit. I spit my shit. You're anonymous. No one knows, bro. You're just commenting in my fucking chat box. Say what you believe in. You act like there's fucking like Mormons in here and shit. And they're about to be like on your ass. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Speaking of religion, I was reading H.G. Wells' Outline of History again, and I was to the part with the ancient Hebrews and shit, right? And they think that the Old Testament was like the first book of Genesis comes from some Babylonian creation myth, because the Jews were historically captives to the Babylonians for like 50 years, and they may have taken a lot of their stories from the Babylonians, actually, because in Exodus with Moses, his story with his mom covering him with like leaves and shit and putting him down a river comes from a Sumerian myth, actually. I guess if you get down to what I believe in, the RNA world is about as deep an idea I subscribe to. What the fuck is that? What is the RNA world? Is that like some fucking funky ass conspiracy theory? Oh, it's some empirical shit. Okay. The RNA world hypothesis proposes that RNA was the primary molecule for life's origins, acting as both genetic material and catalyst, ribozymes before DNA and proteins took over. A stage where RNA performed crucial information and catalytic roles in early self-replicating systems. Evidence supporting this idea, including RNA's ability to store information, catalyze reactions like in the ribosome, and even copy itself, suggesting life began with RNA performing most cellular functions before evolving a DNA protein world we know today. Well, that's fucking boring. Boring! I'm just kidding. But I also like prions. Oh, with mad cow disease. I like the misfolded proteins that makes holes in your brains. Fucking Jakob disease or whatever puts holes in your brains. That's a good one. Yeah, I know about that. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy. With the prions, they fed cows to cows, and the cows started going crazy and dying. And then people who ate those cows got the human form of the virus or the prions. Those probably were around before DNA or RNA, so prions first. So, Suterin, what I'm gathering here is that you're an empiricist. I'm guessing you don't believe in the free will or soul either. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say, bro? No soul. Ugh. You think we're just flesh automatons, buddy? Souls are like magic. Well, buddy, energy is magic. It can't be created nor destroyed, and we harness energy all the time. Light is magic. Electromagnetic energy is magic. Yeah. Yeah, they all got reasons, but light, to a certain degree, is like magic. A lot of... If energy to me is like God, right? God can't be created nor destroyed. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. It just has emanations. Energy can coalesce and create matter and mass. So everything is energy. This mic stand is energy. This desk is energy. It's just cold energy reduced to a slow vibration into atoms. To me, this energy is like magic. It's like the mana of the universe that we use to make our cars move, to think, to work, to make all sorts of stuff. Science is more beautiful without God. Now you kind of sound like a Redditor. I'm sorry, bro. Now you sound a little bit like, oh my science. Okay, bro. I don't know. Have a little bit more of an open mind. I'll just say that much. With a God, we are less special. I don't know about that one. I would Uno reverse that. Are we more special if God made us? Well, let me tell you this, right? I was reading the book The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. And I couldn't help but kind of smile at the preface of the book, because it starts off with saying that human beings are just like every other animal on Earth. And I'm like, okay, but it tries saying that we're completely not different from any other animal on Earth. That are vast. The fact that we are able to engineer, we're able to take sand and smelt it down into little ingots, into making very smooth glass, and then put lasers onto this glass and create transistors and microprocessors. And the fact that we're able to make electron microscopes and manipulate matter and send things off into space and create the internet and create AI. To me, I don't think that kind of thing just developed from evolution. I think we are touched by a divine source. And I think that intelligence actually does come from that energy, also known as the Godhead. So I don't think we're special because of we got lucky and it was a fluke. I think we're special because there is a entity or energy out there that has made it so. Ants farm fungus. You comparing us to ants? Ants have this. Ants farm fungus. Termites do even better. They make alcohol. Well, I'm glad they know how to farm stuff. But let me know when they invent AI and the internet and robots and shit and send stuff off into space. Let me know when they invent the cell phone, or are able to make half the shit that we can, and then I'll be like, okay, you're right. Here, bro. We're going to get you this shirt right here. Oh, my science, bro, is what you need. They got men. We get you a size 6X. Be perfect for you. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. fuck, it's 9:30. Shit. I don't know what to do. I think I kind of want to go work out my legs real quick, actually. It was leg day. I fucking stalled all day because I had fucking other shit to do. Well, gang, this was a good conversation. It was a pretty good stream, actually. But I have to go exercise before it gets too late and the gym closes. So, appreciate you guys for coming in here, talking shit with me for a while. I'll be back on either later after my workout, or I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll play some games. We'll do some other shit. I'll probably go into wilderness like you guys suggested and do some push-ups and play guitar or something. That might be fun. But, let me know. And make sure to drop a follow. I always appreciate you, so that way you get notified when I'm live. And we will return. All right, guys? Appreciate y'all. And I'll see you